The headlines blazed across every screen. China caught spying in Japanese waters. Tensions soar. There was no mistaking the shock and fear in the air. News anchors spoke in hushed voices, and experts debated the danger on live television. The world watched as details trickled in. Japan's peaceful coastline had suddenly become the stage for a silent, high-stakes drama. On that chilly morning, a Japanese Coast Guard patrol picked up something unusual on their radar. Moments later, a large, gray ship appeared on the horizon, its silhouette foreign, its intentions unclear. The vessel moved slowly, almost lazily, but its presence was anything but casual. Across Japan, families and fishermen stared at their screens, wondering what would happen next. Authorities scrambled jets and sent out more patrol boats. The tension was thick, almost heavy enough to taste. Would this turn into a standoff? Was it just a simple misunderstanding, or something much more dangerous? The world waited, breathless. This was not just about ships or territory, it was about power, secrets, and trust. As the story unfolded, it became clear. Something big was happening beneath the waves of the East China Sea. The Japanese Coast Guard ships moved quietly through the dark water. Their spotlights swept back and forth, searching for anything out of place. Just off the coast, at the very edge of Japanese territory, another ship lurked. Its flag was Chinese, but it bore no ordinary markings. Antennas bristled from its deck. Cameras and strange metallic domes hinted at secrets hidden inside. The crew on the Japanese ships felt the pressure. Every move had to be careful. If they came too close, it could spark an international crisis. But if they stayed back, China's ship might gather more information. The waves slapped against hulls as the night dragged on. Radio chatter filled the air, tense and clipped. Somewhere on shore, a team of government officials watched the movements in real time. Big screens showed radar blips and maps, tracking every shift and turn. Every few minutes, someone would shout out an update, comparing notes and debating what to do next. No one slept well that night. The ocean was dark and wide, but the secrets it held were more dangerous than any storm. China's ship was no fishing trawler. It was equipped with some of the world's most advanced surveillance technology. Long-range cameras scanned the horizon, picking up even tiny boats on the waves. Powerful radar systems could track anything that moved. Beneath the surface, special sonar devices listened for the hum of engines and the faintest echoes of submarines. Experts believe that China may have also used underwater drones. These machines can travel deep and far, collecting information from the seafloor. Some drones can even tap into communication cables, stealing secrets meant to stay hidden. The ship's crew sent signals back to China in bursts of encrypted data. Every byte was a new piece in the complex puzzle of international intelligence. Japan's own technology tried to keep up. Patrol planes circled overhead, snapping photos with high-powered lenses. Satellites watched from space, beaming down images every few minutes. Both countries played a dangerous game of cat and mouse, hiding their true capabilities while pushing the limits of what was possible. The stakes were high. The information gathered in these waters could reveal Japan's military plans, submarine routes, or even the layout of secret bases. For both sides, knowledge was power, and power could change everything. In Tokyo, the news set off alarms at the highest levels. Government ministers held emergency meetings late into the night. The Prime Minister addressed the nation, calling for calm but making it clear Japan would defend its territory at all costs. Streets were quieter than usual, as people wondered if things might get worse. Japanese newspapers printed maps showing where the Chinese ship had been spotted. Experts appeared on talk shows, explaining what it all meant. This is not just about fishing rights, one analyst warned. China wants to know how we defend ourselves and how much we're willing to risk. The public's mood shifted from curiosity to worry. For local fishermen, the threat was personal. Some worried about losing their livelihoods if the waters became too dangerous. Others feared a sudden military clash. "We just want to work in peace," said one fisherman, his voice shaking. "But now, every day feels like we're caught in the middle of a storm." Japan's leaders promised to stay strong, but behind closed doors many wondered, how could they stop China from coming back, and what would happen if they couldn't? Japan was not alone in its anxiety. Across East Asia, other countries watched the situation closely. South Korea and Taiwan worried that Chinese spies might be watching their waters next. Both countries increased their own patrols, sending more ships and planes out every day. They called emergency meetings with military and intelligence officials. Vietnam and the Philippines paid attention too. They knew all too well what it felt like to face China's growing power in the sea. In the past, China had sent ships near their coasts, sparking protests and tense standoffs. Now, they feared that this new incident might inspire more aggressive moves. Regional organizations like ASEAN called for calm, but their statements sounded weak. "We urge all parties to respect international law," they said, but everyone knew that words alone might not be enough. The fear was clear. If China could spy on Japan, what would stop it from doing the same to anyone else? The ripples spread far and wide. What started in Japanese waters was now an issue for the whole region, one that could change the balance of power for years to come. News of the Chinese ship in Japanese waters reached Washington within hours. The United States is Japan's closest ally, tied together by decades of friendship and mutual defense treaties. American officials reacted quickly, calling the incident a serious provocation and promising to support Japan. The U.S. sent aircraft and ships to join patrols in the area. Military commanders held video calls with their Japanese counterparts, sharing information and discussing a united response. "We will not stand by while freedom of navigation is threatened," a Pentagon spokesperson said. "The Pacific is not up for grabs." Chinese officials, meanwhile, accused the U.S. of interfering. They said the patrols were routine and blamed Western hype for making things worse. But behind the scenes, both sides knew how dangerous the situation was. One wrong move, and a standoff could quickly turn into a crisis. American experts warned of a new Cold War at sea. The world's two largest economies were facing off, and the ripple effects could reach every corner of the globe. Back at the negotiating table, diplomats worked overtime to ease the crisis. Japan demanded a full explanation from China and called for an end to provocative activities. China denied any wrongdoing, insisting that its ships were only conducting scientific research. The two sides traded accusations in front of the world's cameras. Meetings were tense. Each word was chosen carefully. Each gesture watched for hidden meaning. Other countries offered to help mediate, but trust was in short supply. Old wounds, territorial disputes, history and competition made everything harder. The United Nations called for restraint, but many doubted that their words would change anything. In private, negotiators worried that future incidents might be even harder to control. "We're walking on a knife's edge," one diplomat admitted. "One mistake could lead to disaster." For now, both sides agreed to keep talking, but no one knew if that would be enough to prevent the next crisis. The future is uncertain, but experts agree on one thing. The situation is dangerous. If China keeps sending surveillance ships, Japan might respond with even stronger measures. That could include more patrols, new laws, or tougher military action. Some warn of an arms race in the waters of East Asia. Other countries could get drawn in too. The United States, already involved, might increase its military presence. South Korea, Taiwan, and others may join forces with Japan. This could create new alliances, but also new risks of conflict. There is hope for a peaceful solution. Some leaders have suggested joint patrols or new agreements to keep the peace. But so far, trust is hard to build. The sea is full of secrets, and not everyone is willing to share. Whatever happens, one thing is clear. The eyes of the world are watching, and every move could change history. This incident in Japanese waters is more than just a local dispute. It is a warning sign for the world. As nations compete for power, technology, and territory, the risks grow higher every day. What happens in one corner of the sea can ripple out to affect everyone. For Japan and its neighbors, the challenge is clear: protect their own security without starting a wider conflict. For global powers like the United States and China, every decision has big consequences. The balance of peace depends on careful choices and open eyes. The world cannot afford another major crisis. As technology makes spying easier and the stakes get higher, countries must find new ways to talk, to trust, and to keep the peace. The drama in Japanese waters is not just a news story, it is a test for us all. The lesson is simple but urgent. In a world of secrets, watching the waves may be the key to avoiding the storm.